the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. It's one of the most famous railways in the United Kingdom, and it's also known to be going through the north of England, through from Whitby to Pickering. My adventure begins in Whitby, England, and we go across some moors, which are also known as hills, all the way down south to Pickering. It's a 2-hour journey across some moors and through tunnels, and even make some stops between Whitby and Pickering. As the train descends onto the main line, when we left Whitby behind, steam from the locomotive was everywhere around the train. You might be wondering why they call this railway the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. I mean, it doesn't really go through York. They call this railway the North Yorkshire Moors Railway actually because it goes through North Yorkshire Moors National Park. And it really has nothing to do with going through the city of York, England. We make a stop at Gromont to switch engines. They uncouple the tender engine so they can get the diesel, but we suspected a diesel train to pull us the rest of the way to Pickering. But unfortunately, I mean, in the station, sitting right on the same platform, is another engine. It's not a diesel, it's a tank engine. And into the station comes another train. It's also not a steamy. It's also not a diesel. It's another steamy. The steamies seem just as active as the diesels are that day. And besides, after they go for a long journey, I wonder if they ever rest. People from all over the world come to England, either Whitby or Pickering, because the North Yorkshire Moors Railway is one of the famous steam railways. But what if I told you that those are not the most famous? But what if I told you that this is not the most famous railway in the world? But in fact, the North Yorkshire Moors Railway is perhaps a reliable railway, you might think, and it seems a lot more reliable than you might expect it to be. And besides, you might expect to be going over moors in what's it called again? Oh yes, North Yorkshire Moors National Park, and we did go over moors, which are rolling hills and coulees that the trains go over. It's just that people are really surprised when they come out here. It's interesting to hear people go like, "Oh, what's this yellow crop out here?" The next stop will be Gothland, and apparently on the way there we passed by the engine shed, which is where the yard is. And you know what? I would really pay to do this again, I think. Next, you know what? We are almost in Gothland, and we're heading forwards on this journey. And these engines are British rail trains. They're from like Jacobite. They're the engines. They're engines engine in names of the railway you may know from my Jacobite video of the Jacobite Express going from Malik to Fort William. You may know back from 2015.
See the steamy over here.
Our next stop will be Lavishon, and departing from there, we'll see you there. And it will be our last stop which will be the end of the line, which is Pickering Station, which is past Lavishon Station, and we'll see you there. Apparently, we approached some train cars up close to our train, and when departing from Lavishon Station, we'll be heading to Pickering Station, and we'll see you there when we get there. Finally, we come into Pickering Station, and the engine gets uncoupled, and we arrive in Pickering just in time to get off and watch the engine get uncoupled and get hooked up to the other end of the train to pull it back to Whitby, and have a look. Wow, what an incredible train ride! Well, this just goes to show you that the trains, there's no diesels running, but the steamies are pretty strong in the rain. And even on a rainy day like this, and even in every day, they run steamies. These trains may seem a lot more reliable than you might expect them to. Finally, the train gets uncoupled and moves away in one big puff of steam. Finally, she goes back down the line beside the train to go move to the other end of the train to pull it back to Whitby. When she starts moving backwards, she starts moving to the back of the train, and she puffs off. And I'm glad that she does pull the train back to Whitby. Thank you for watching, and I've enjoyed many train rides in Great Britain, but this one will stick with me for a long time.